Did you know that in order to think like a nurse must first care like a nurse? Today's topic, can caring be taught? As we look at curriculum as an educator, we often focus on the content and the information we need to communicate and teach our students. But did you know that curriculum has a bigger picture? When I did my doctoral studies and did curriculum as a course, it actually includes the values and the attitudes that we want to transmit from one generation to the next. And as you think about those values, what are we in danger of losing? Yes, we need to teach good information, but from my perspective, caring and compassion need to be situated and communicated very clearly and made intentional in our curriculum. And is that taking place in your program? In my experience, it has not been. And so when we look at caring, we need to define every key concept in nursing education. And from your perspective, how would you define caring as a nurse? Pat Benner has one of the best practice-based definitions of caring that I've come across, and she said this: the essence of caring as a nurse is that you recognize the value and worth of those you care for, and that the patient and their experience matter to you. That's a powerful and profound definition. And as we look at Pat Benner today, we look at those nurses who do not embody caring become a caricature of the profession. Don't believe me? Well, does anybody remember Nurse Ratched from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, a classic Jack Nicholson film? She didn't care and became a caricature of the profession. We don't want our students to be that nurse, and we can use Nurse Ratched as an example. Bring it up on YouTube, show it for those 2-3 minute clips, and help our students see the value and the relevance of caring to nursing today. But as we look at caring and compassion, why is it foundational and central to our identity and what we do as nurses? You know, it is central. It is our core virtue ethic. The question is why? Many say, oh, it's Nightingale. Well, if you understand the history of nursing, it doesn't go back to just the modern era. It goes back about 2,000 years to the early Christian church and the teachings of Jesus, who said, love your neighbor. Parable of the Good Samaritan, who saw that person in the ditch. And that person, that Samaritan, a despised ethnic minority of the Jews, was moved with compassion to care for that person. And in that context, we need to situate to our students that, like the Good Samaritan, people have value. That Good Samaritan also took risk, and that we have to teach our students, encourage them to take a risk, to go there and to care and to engage with the patient and their experience. The Good Samaritan also gave of themselves and was motivated with a heart of compassion and mercy. And a professional nurse embodies these virtue ethics in all that they do as a nurse. And you know, there's two simple questions I want to encourage you, whether you're a student, a nurse, or a nurse educator, to incorporate into your practice. Reflect and ask, what is the patient likely experiencing or feeling right now in this situation? And what can you do to engage with this patient's experience and show that they matter? You know, this is taking Pat Benner's definition of caring and making it a question. Well, the first question is all about empathy, getting into that patient's lived experience. And when we do that as nurses, we actually improve the development of critical thinking. Because ironically, did you know that critical thinking is predicated upon the ability of the nurse and how they interpret data by their engagement and empathy and how that data is interpreted. And so as we look in closing, there's someone I'd like you to embody as a professional nurse, even though she wasn't a nurse, but she said this: do ordinary things with extraordinary love. It's not how much we do, but how much love we put into that action. And let us touch the dying, and let us not be ashamed or slow to do the humble work. Who was this person who cared for the sick? None other than Mother Teresa. And she embodied that those who serve with this spirit, not afraid to do the humble work, the cleanup work, that some nurses kind of don't want to go there, that actually makes one great. And that those who serve become greatest of all. And so as we look at this brief content on caring, what is your big takeaway? And what will be your next step to intentionally integrate caring in your curriculum? If you found this content helpful, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Think Like a Nurse, and share it with others. And go deeper on this topic and receive contact hours inside my membership for educators that provides innovative tools to develop clinical judgment and essential teaching to transform the way you teach so your students are better prepared for practice and licensure. Thanks so much for watching.